Well, it's January and we are officially in the mud farming season. Every year we deal with this, and every year it still surprises me. Like, there's puddles everywhere. But we're checking fences right now to make sure that none of the wind from yesterday did any damage, and we'll see what's going on. So yesterday we had a pretty rough storm come through. It actually started the night before. But the nice thing is that we had enough heads up to try and prepare as best we could with the unknown. When we first got the message about what the weather was going to be like, we were told a couple of inches of rain. And then it became 2 to 3, and then it became 3 to 4. We've had some people reporting as much as like almost 5 inches of rain. And we definitely felt that. And it wasn't just the rain, it was also the wind. We've had multiple tree branches knocked over, and there's just tons of, it's minimal damage, but you can definitely see that we had a pretty big storm. So right now I'm kind of riding through, checking all the fences, checking all the trees to see what kind of damage we have on the perimeter so that we can get ahead of these guys back here. But everybody looks good back here as far as the animals go. All 4 of the cows seem to be completely unscathed. You can't even tell that there was anything that happened back here for them. They have shelter. And that's one of the things when you have a storm like this. You know, I was saying before that we were pretty well prepared because we knew that the very first thing we had to do was obviously make sure we were safe, and we had things in place so that if we lost power, things like that. But the second concern is to make sure that our animals are safe. So we went around and, you know, we had the pigs. If you've seen any of our recent videos, we've had the pigs down over by the dam. And if you've noticed before in any of our videos, whenever we have a heavy rain, the pond will overflow and go right over the dam into our neighbor's pond. And so we knew that that was not going to be a good place for them. So the day before the storm, we moved them up to higher ground where we knew that the water, as the buckets of water were coming down, that it would go down the hill and it wouldn't faze them. So we did that. We also, with the chickens, they're still in those tractors. And so we had to make sure, fortunately, our ground is not completely flat. We do have some areas that are like, you know, kind of like rolling hills. So we were able to move the chickens up onto those parts of the grass so that the water could naturally just fall off the sides and roll down away from them. Now that was one thing we had to adjust again first thing in the morning, because when we went out to feed, they were all stepping in water. So we had to make those adjustments as they were going. So that's the other thing, is when you have a storm like this, you know, as easy as it would be to just sit inside and ride it out, we had a full 24 hours of hard rain. And so whenever there was a little bit of a break, if we saw any kind of a break, that's when we would go out and assess if there was any kind of changes that we needed to make during the storm itself. Been riding around assessing the damage. I have to say, this is probably one of the bigger storms we've had in a while during the winter time. There's a lot of down trees. We had winds that people were worried about tornadoes. I'm seeing it back here. We have trees, because it's the winter time, right? So you have some of the dead trees, the dead limbs are falling all over the place. Right behind me, right here on the fence line, there's a tree that has fallen down. And so now I'm stopped here. I'm gonna go ahead and pick up some of this stuff and put it in the back of the canine so I can take it back up to the house so we can get it ready for like using for burning. It looks like a bunch of it is dead, so we should be able to use it after it's dried out. So I love to come back here after the rain because our bank where the creek is a lot of sand. So you get to see a lot of tracks when you're out here. So let's go see what we can find. So I don't know if you'll be able to get your bearings, but I'm gonna show you some footage. Yesterday, we came down in the middle of everything to check on everybody, check on the animals, make sure that the fences were holding. And we came down here, and this area right now where you can now see the bed was so full that Carol was able to get in it and get, like, by sitting down, it was up over her head. So that just shows you in one day the difference and the power of water, what kind of damage it can do, and just as quickly as it's here, it's gone. Why are you by yourself? Where's your wife at? Hey, baby. That was a pretty rough day, wasn't it? Oh, stretch. Hey, Louise. Hey. You happy to be in a paddock today? I'm sure Louise wasn't thrilled that we kept her cooped up all day yesterday, but I know she's thrilled to be out here today in a paddock. Sun hasn't quite come over the trees yet for her, but here pretty soon she's gonna be basking in the sun, and I'm sure she'll be even more happy. Now I know there are a lot of you out there that also got hit by this storm, so I'm curious if you did anything ahead of time to make sure that you were ready, or if there were any adjustments that you made during the storm, what those were. Really like to hear those down in the comments below. Thank you for stopping by the Big Bear Homestead. God bless. Have a nice day.